Today I'd like to have a little bit of fun with our Cardio Study pen. Now this Cardio Study pen has 6 different colored dots on it. Both sides have the same colored dots on them. So I'd like you to pick a number between 1 and 6.
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. That gives us a blue one. So in this case, why don't we turn them all to blue? So now one side has the blue, one side has the color. Now to make things a little more interesting, why don't I just take this colored side here and we'll change that to blue as well. So now we have blue on both sides. But because I'd like to give you a little something as a keepsake, why don't I turn that side back into color? And that's going to give us one side of color, one side of blue, and this is going to be a little gift that you can take home with you. The Cardio Study pen trick works off of a magic principle called the paddle move. And the paddle move is designed to make it look like you're showing one side of the pen and then show the other side of the pen, when in fact you're showing one side of the pen 2 times. So the idea is we have a pen here with the colored dots on one side, but the opposite side of the pen actually has the force color, the color we're going to make the spectator choose. Now, I want to be able to show the colors as on both sides of the pen. This is how it looks. The reality is, though, I'm actually showing you the same side twice. In essence, what I'm doing is I'm giving it a turn like this at the same time as I'm lifting my hand up this way. And when I add both of those movements together, it looks a little something like that. And that there is the paddle move, and that is the move that makes the magic happen. So how do we get our spectator to actually get to the color that we need them to get to? In this case, we need them to get to the blue because the opposite side of the pen has those blue force dots on them. Well, it's very simple. Ask the spectator to pick a number between 1 and 6, as there are 6 dots there. If they choose the number 1, ask them to spell it. O-N-E, get to the blue. If they say 2, again, spell it. T-W-O, they're at the blue. If they say 3, simply count. 1, 2, 3. If they say 4, count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's the number 5, ask them to spell it. F-I-V-E. And of course, the last one would be 6, and you just spell that S-I-X. Doesn't matter what number they choose, they will always get to that blue. So I want to show you some easy and clever ways that you can turn the colored dots into the blue dots here. You have to do it in such a way that the spectator doesn't see you actually doing the flip. So one of the easiest ways to do it is, of course, cover it with your hand as your spectator is watching. That hand will obscure the view of the dots themselves, and as you obscure it with the hand, you simply turn it over. Now, it's very important, though, that when you put your hand over the top, don't turn it as you're moving your hand away, or else they're going to see the turn itself. Simply keep your hand over the cover, turn over the pen, and that's going to allow them to get the blue dots without them seeing the movement itself. Now, the other way that it can do it is one of my favorites. It's called the thumb swipe. And the thumb swipe simply is moving in this kind of action with your thumb and changing the colors. So the thumb itself, that action is what keeps their spectators' eyes. They watch the thumb, and in watching the thumb, they actually miss the turn. Now, there's other ways of doing it as well. I have another favorite, which is called the snap. And if you snap it, you can change the color. It's the noise and the snap that cover the actual turn of the thumb. Some of the other ways that you can do it is you could give it a shake, to shake it. It's the shaking motion itself covers the movement of the thumb turning the pen. Or if you want to get a little more aggressive with it, you can give it a faster shake and turn it a little more slow, and it'll actually look like the colors themselves change into the force color, and it looks a little something like this. So it's that shaking motion that covers the movement of that turn. So find out whatever way that makes you feel comfortable and work with that way, but at least it gives you a little bit of options if you want to play around later on with the flick or the thumb wipe or shake. Gives you some other options to work with. A couple of final thoughts or tips for you. When you're doing the paddle move, make sure that you keep your fingers loose. Keep your pen up in the top, maybe 10% of your fingers there, thumb on the top. Nice and loose. The looser it is, the less movement they're going to see. If it's nice and tight, they're going to see the movement. You don't want that. So you want to just keep it nice and loose, less movement that the spectator can see. It'll also make things just look a little bit smoother. Now, a second thought is always take the cap of the pen off. It's a dead giveaway when the cap of the pen is on and you turn it, because then the cap stem ends up on the other side. That's a dead giveaway that your pen has been flipped. So please make sure that you take your cap off, and that is the reason why we use this style of pen. And third, just make sure that you practice. Practice in front of a mirror. Make sure you practice in front of your recording device like your mobile phone. Make sure it really looks good before you, in fact, perform it for your spectator, because you don't want to give away the secret. So perform it to the point where you're very efficient with it. And then, of course, the last point then would just be to have fun with it. So enjoy and come back to cardiostudy.ca and see what we have coming forward in the future. Thank you.